Second challenge, once again, we are going to have a look at our teams. We've got 3 teams there, our 3 finalists. Of course, we had many more entrants. We're going to hear a pitch from each of them, and then I encourage you to ask your questions. We're talking about an economy that works for people. Our first team up to present their project is CityScale. So let's have a video to have a look at that.
Hello everyone, my name is Alexander. I am an owner and lead developer in Ukrainian startup called CityScale. CityScale is a service that will help you to find the best place of living you can afford. The idea has come up when I myself was searching for a place of living and couldn't find accessible fact summaries to leverage price and quality of life at unfamiliar locations. As you can guess, our team is still building up, even now, while we are exploring European open data to bring our solutions to more people around Europe. See you at EU Datathon final on the 25th of November. And don't forget, you can vote for a team of your choice too.
Well, we saw there that video. Alexander, the day has come. The time is now, so please take the floor for your pitch.
Hello, this is Alexander again, and today is the 25th of November and EU Datathon finale, and I'm presenting CityScale. CityScale is a small Ukrainian startup that has been operating for quite some time. Next slide, please. And our goal is to change how we choose a place to live, because it takes too much effort and responsibility. Next slide, please. And all we have now is listings. It's hundreds of listing pages with prices, bedroom counts, and fancy photos. All that marketing stuff. Next slide, please. And there can be even maps. Next slide, please. But they won't tell you what is behind the walls, and what is behind is our focus, because you can't repair an environment as easily as an apartment. Next slide, please. And this is another familiar example where you can find reviews. Next slide, please. And reviews can be helpful if you have enough of it, and you should read all of them. And still they will be subjective. That means unstructured and incomplete. And what is worse, they can be manipulative or even fake. Next slide, please. Now, what do? We aggregate open data about real estate prices, crimes, pollution, transportation, educational and medical facilities, not only from government data sources, but private ones. Process them to represent life complexity as simple valuations, and we'll visualize them on interactive maps. Next slide, please. Like this one. This is our main view, where you can find all our data combined at one place. Colors there represents price levels, where red is high price, green is low price, and yellow is something in between. Next slide, please. Previous slide, please. But when we compare price with the quality of life, you can see a change. Here, colors are representing profitability, where red is overestimated locations, green are underestimated places, and yellow something visible. And next slide, please. And if you want to see detailed data, for example, like this one for crimes, you can do it as well. Next slide, please. And we do even beyond visualization. We're experimenting with smart agents like chatbots that make data even more accessible for more people. Next slide, please. How it works for people. It helps to see the whole picture at a glance and be aware of quality of life and cost of living, hence to make conscious decisions with less effort. It leads to fair housing. Next slide, please. Our sustainability is based on diversification. It's not only for current and future citizens, but for private companies, city specialists, and local authorities that can aid the services and city development decisions with our data and tools as well. It achieved through diversified services like premium that is in the core of our service, and we think it is natural option for a socially responsible business. Also, we offer own refined open data through portal and API, and also provide live condition evaluations as a service. Next slide, please. And another key strength of our project is that is CityScale built as a platform, and you just need to feed the right data to get a result for any locations. Next slide, please. And that's what we did with during EU Datathon. We reviewed over 100 of datasets. Between 30 and 40 of them were closely analyzed, and we use some transportation datasets for Dublin and London. Next slide, please. Then we linked even more data from national open data portals. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. And as a result, we have such maps for crimes, transportation. Next slide, please. And schools in London and Dublin. Next slide, please. And current state, we already have some local partners and users and clients, and looking for more European ones. Next slide, please. And the latest news is that today we are officially presenting our international version in English. Next slide, please. And latest announcement, during this time we also has been developing a new evaluation for education accessibility that will be released by the end of this year. Next slide, please. And thank you. We'll be glad to hear what do you think about our project.
Thank you very much for your presentation. We have a couple of questions coming in. Firstly, what does your ideal user look like, and why should they use your app compared to the current situation or other existing solutions?
I think it's someone who is conscious about their decisions, who wants to be aware what they are choosing.
And could you include data for rural areas as well, or potentially smaller cities?
Yes, we are aiming to bring as much data for as much of locations.
And finally, then, does this solution significantly extend the composite indicators of quality of life in the cities or quality of living in the cities? So, have you compared other indices in this query?
We haven't done these discoveries yet, but we are planning to do.
Well,